David, we were talking the other day because this is graduation season and we've been going to so many graduation parties. I'm going with friends and friends who have kids, and it seems like this is sort of a stressful time for some people. They're thinking,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I have a kid who's going to be in this place next year or in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
How do people prioritize saving for college?
Everybody ought to have a base financial foundation down. You ought to have a strong cash reserve, low to modest debt, and you ought to already be saving for retirement. When it comes to the cash, there's no reason to save for college if you have to keep dipping into it to cover day-to-day or month-to-month needs. And when it comes to retirement, well, you are your funding source for really what is a multi-decade goal. So after those things are in place, this can be a good next thing to do.
But when it's time for my kid to go to college, I might not be his only option for going.
Yeah.
There's going to be financial aid,
right.
and he might have to work through it, and that kind of thing.
There could be merit-based aid, there could be need-based aid, there could be cash flow during those given years for you. Everybody's situation is different. And so when you meet with a financial advisor, they're going to sit down and they're going to look at all the resources you have and all the objectives you have. What I find a lot of people are doing is they're trying to strike a balance between what's happening in the short term, day-to-day, month-to-month, and what's happening in the long term. If somebody had a 4-year-old and they were going to go to college when they were 18 and they wanted to do that in-state type of school, they may say, I want to cover half of it. I think the other half may come from financial aid or my cash flow at that time.
Yeah. Well, where should we be saving that money?
Yeah.
Talk about that for a minute.
One thing that comes to mind is a 529 plan. When you are applying for financial aid, some of the household assets are counted a little heavier for what you're going to provide for college than others. A 529 plan is in that lower level for what is considered to go towards college.
A lower percentage of my income.
It's not that it doesn't show up, but when the formula is being created for what is called the expected family contribution, and people who have gone through the aid process know what that is. There is a lower percentage of it that is considered to be used for the family paying for tuition.
Okay. Now, last question: if I have a couple of friends who are like, we're going to these graduation parties now. They're sending their kids off to school. How are they allocating the money, any money that they've saved? Like, how do you make sure that this trickles over the next 4 years and make it last?
When we're finally at a place where we are distributing money for goals that people have, and this would be college or really any goal, I like to refer to it with clients as a 3-bucket approach. If one needs the money in the next year, that ought to be in cash. I'm not a big believer in having speculating on what the market is going to do in the next year when the money is needed. If they have 2 to 3 years, I think that ought to be in some type of stable income or stable investment. And if you have 4 to 5 plus years, I think you can start to balance that with some growth-based investments. Every semester that comes off, you can transition those monies between the buckets to get down to be prepared for the next semester.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you so much. This is very helpful.
Thank you.